Hello everybody, this is Hero. This is the end. This is the final episode of my SL6 New Game Plus Pure Black World Tendency playthrough. What this means is that we've just got 1-4 to go through, the last level of Bolitarian Palace. We've got a dragon and a few crossbowmen and a few Black Phantoms to take care of, and we've also got some Fat Ministers to take care of, and we've also got a Black Phantom Ostrava to take care of as well. And then we just face old King Allent, it'll be false King Allent, because this isn't the real King Allent, this is a fake one, this is a demon effigy that presumably he created to take his place, because when we see him inside the old one, holy shit, he does not look human anymore. You know, spoiler alert. But, now honestly, if anyone complains about spoiler alerts, I get really confused when people complain about spoiler alerts on videos that say, like, you know, this is the end of the game, you know, like, and someone talks, like the person who's commentating over it talks about the very end of the game in the last video. Like earlier on, like if it's a walkthrough or something and you're looking at, you know, you just wanted to know how to get through this one part, and then the person who's commentating gets bored and like says that, you know, oh, and at the end all the main characters died, and, you know, they pulled a bit of a, you know, this movie at the end, and, you know, that kind of a thing. I get why you'd be annoyed at that, but this is Demon Souls. You've been watching, presumably, the last 10 episodes as well, so you know that this is the entire game, and you know that I've been talking about it for this long, so, you know, not to go on a tangent or anything, but, you know, this is spoiler alert, duh. You know, old King Allent is a demon. Surprise. Not really. Not from what you've heard throughout the game, presumably through the lore and the dialogue and the everything else, and also me talking through the past few bits of the game. But I presume, you know, especially at this point, and because considering that I am the one who is putting out these videos, the people who have, you know, you people who are watching this, you know the end of this game, or you've seen, you know, this game being played before, and you know the end, or you don't know the end, but you don't even really care, because let's, you know, for all the people that say that Dark Souls and Demon Souls have really interesting and deep lore if you know how to look for it, I don't disagree. I don't think it's quite the same as having the end of BioShock ruined for you, which I did, by the way. I wasn't happy. So, you know, not entirely the same thing. And for people who have just been watching the video at the moment, I am aware of the hopeless, shameful way that I've been taking care of these Black Phantoms, and this is one of the reasons in the previous video I went on a little rant about how I'd like to do a mainly only, like, New Game Plus 3 version of this run as well, just to actually learn how to deal with some parts of the game, because you shouldn't be able to do that, what I just did. You shouldn't be able to shoot someone, have them react to you for like 5 seconds, and then all of a sudden, because you're wearing a ring, they forget you're even there, and then they walk back, and then they let down the guard, and they take another arrow in the face, and that shouldn't be able to happen. It flatly should not be able to happen, regardless of whether you can do it. It's perfectly legitimate to do it. It's just, you know, even while I was doing it, I was wearing a bit of a grimace, because I don't want to do this, I don't want to beat the game like this, but did I know how to take care of them otherwise? No, I really didn't. Especially the spear guy. You know, Mr. Pokey, break all your equipment guy. That asshole. He uses a weapon called the Scraping Spear, and every time the Scraping Spear hits you, doesn't matter if it does damage or not, but every time it hits you, it does 20 points of durability damage, I think. And when you think that your equipment generally only has about, you know, maybe 200 to maybe 600 points at the upper end of durability, and they tend to go like weapon at risk when they reach, I think, to, I think it's a quarter of their total durability, and they lose their effectiveness a bit. That can be a problem, because if you, I mean, it's not a huge problem. It's just it's an inconvenience, because then you have to go back to the Nexus, and presumably you have some souls stocked up, but if you don't have any souls stocked up, then you probably need to, if you have it available, go to Shrine of Storms and kill the few of the cloud beasts that are hanging around, because that'll give you about 20,000 souls, and with that you can probably repair all your equipment. But it's just adding all these steps to something that shouldn't have that many. It shouldn't have this many steps. It really just, it shouldn't. And so I thought about all of that, and just before I pulled the bow out, I realized, do I want to take the time to learn this properly and do it without do it without range, even though it would be many times easier with range? No, I didn't, because I was a bit lazy and horrible, and I just didn't want to do it, so I didn't. And I think as I do more and more of these commentaries, as I talk more and more since like the last video, I realize how much I want to actually get a pure melee version of this run done, and not necessarily uploaded, just done, so that I could say, hey, I did this, and prove to myself that I could have done it. And that's all the time. That's what I aim for personally. And the only times I stumble when I think, maybe I could do this all melee, is, what about this dragon? What about this idiot dragon that just sits here and does nothing but breathe fire? My first playthrough, I had like a level 130 character at this point, and I had some new moon grass, and I didn't fire arrows at him or anything, but I just ran across, and whenever I got hit, I used a new moon grass, and then I kept running. Whenever I got hit, I used a new moon grass, and I just kept on running. But after I, when I think about that, and I go, oh, it wouldn't be too bad, and then I realised that I'd be using a soul level 6 character on New Game Plus 3, so there's no way I'd survive a single hit. And if I can't use magic, and if I can't use ranged attacks, is there a way to run between the flames like that? Because I don't think there is. So this is the point where I think maybe there'd have to be an exception for the range, just to make myself sane again. Because I can deal with not killing the blue dragon on the way, like, up to the actual palace, like the actual castle bit, like that we're coming up to now, because there's a safe spot, and I know that safe spot, and I can just run up it every time if I want to. I killed it here. I killed the dragon here once I got past it, and I did that, but that was just for peace of mind, and the fact that I didn't want to have to time a run every time I wanted to take care of Allent again. But I could deal with that. I could deal with that fine. It's just the previous instance with the dragon that I'd be a bit concerned about, because I don't. Maybe I'll have to look it up. I'll have to look it up online and see if there's just any sort of a way to take care of, just run through the fire in a way that is not immediately obvious, but in a way that means that you don't take any damage from it. Because if the only way to get through is by taking damage, or by having shot the dragon enough that it flies away, then I'm just going to have to do that and just shoot the dragon until it flies away, and that'd be basically the only time I use the bow in the entire game. But what you've seen so far, what you're seeing now, is me shooting a dragon in the head about 50,000 times until it finally, does it die? Does it die? Please tell me it dies now. There we go. It's dead now. 88,539 souls. And I've since learned, thanks to a commenter, Bluebee, I think 98, Bluebee98, he told me that killing the dragons does actually increase your world tendency once you return to the Nexus. and also that Black Phantoms don't necessarily disappear when you move back to white tendency. So unfortunately that means that I did complete my Tower Knight Archstone not at pure Black World tendency, but I didn't know, and that was just a fuck up on my behalf. But yeah, but seeing as I didn't actually return to the Nexus in my entire time trying to fight Allent, the world tendency never had a chance to change much. And I've just talked over the last encounter with Ostrava and Ostrava's Black Phantom form, and as you can see, all I had to do was shoot him with the bow, and he didn't even have time to get to me before he was dead. So I think that's another reason that I want to do this all melee in my next run, because it's not even fair to the game at some points. And the game isn't fair to you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to completely dick it back all the time. Yeah, the way up to here, up to this elevator, and this elevator, by the way, but the way up to here can be hell if you don't have a method. And what's also hell is waiting in this fucking elevator the entire way up to Allent. It's really cool the first time. It is really cool the first time, just waiting for it to slowly get to the top, and then you have your final confrontation. But then when you realize you have to make this slow journey back up to the top again every time you die, it's mind-boggling. Like, some of the things they decided to do in this game, even though it only probably frustrates a small percentage of people who played it, who, you know, had to retry or wanted to retry Allent all the time. This, I don't know how to feel about this, honestly. But this is a cool cutscene. Allent looks amazing. He looks really, really menacing, and he is a really menacing fight. And I never do well against Allent in my first try. Like that. I always choke. Every time. The first time, every time, I always choke with Allent. And it's not to say that I don't choke the second time, but it's a bit less of a choke. I gradually choke less. It's like I'm priming my gag reflex for Allent, and that sounds really... that sounds quite dirty. But... never mind me. Apparently I'm 11 years old. I think it's more the fact that I said it on fucking commentary. It's... Allent's fight. I actually really like Allent's fight. It's got some fantastic music. It's really high-paced, fast-paced and fun. And what I've worked out for Allent is that he's actually quite similar to the Penetrator boss fight. He has some extra moves like that one, which will hit you beyond its scope. Doesn't matter how far it looks like it reaches. Get out of lock-on range and then jump a little bit further out of range, because that thing, it has a hitbox where there is no particle effect, so never trust it. But yeah, what I mean is, my strategy for Allent is pretty much the same as the Penetrator, in that I bait a certain attack, which is the forward dash, and then I roll into it, and then I punish it with the R2, 1 or 2 R2s, and oh, that was his soul suck attack, and apparently that drains a soul level. I've never been hit by it, and I'm kind of confused because I know that Amaral said that if you get grabbed by soul suck and you're level 1, it doesn't do anything, but I'm not level 1, I'm soul level 6, so the entire time I was fighting Allent, I was also in this like permanent horrified state of what happens if I lose effectiveness with one of my weapons because it drains a soul level, and I effectively can't level up again, because otherwise it'd make me... because it doesn't take away a level completely, you stay the same level, but it takes away one of the points you have. So you're soul level 6 and you might have had 12 dexterity before, but now you only have 11. So I'm glad I never had to find out what happened with that. And did you see what he just did then before? He used the area of effect attack like 4 times in a row, and it's this really long-winded attack. And in this moment where you're really hyped up and you're all you're all feeling, you know, energetic and the adrenaline's pumping and everything. Why? You don't want to, like, stay still anymore. You want to react. You want to do something. But when the game is saying, no, your reaction at the moment should be to stand still and let your guard down a bit. Anyway, boom. Goodbye, old King Allent. You're dead. Your demon was destroyed. I revived. And I was fairly proud of myself for this one, because that was all those tries you saw. There's that first one, the second one, and this third one. That was all the tries I had, and this is in stark contrast to my first time fighting Allent at Soul Level 6, because I couldn't get hit once there either, and I had to learn to no damage him then. This was much different. I was expecting to spend a couple hours on it like I did last time, because I must have died against Allent nearly 15 times. It took me maybe, I don't know, 2 hours to actually get him, you know, dead. That's with breaks in between, just trying not to. I don't necessarily rage. I lose the will to play for a little bit, so I usually just watch a YouTube video or something. But I was fairly proud of myself for that one. I'm going to say it right here, because killing Allent that fast for me, I felt like I'd actually gotten better, and that was a high point of the run for me. So it's at this point that you've effectively beaten the game. This little cutscene plays, and this statue drops the sword that it's holding, and it punches right through the. Oh, come on, drop the sword. I want to say this in time. It punches right through the bottom of the Nexus. There we go. And this hole that it's created is the way down to the old one. It's effectively the ultimate evil of this game's lore, like the thing that has awoken and started to, you know, hunger for souls. And like in the beginning intro cinematic that my intro is clipped from, there's this bit where it says that, you know, upon this planet there was placed an irrevocable evil, you know, a soul-devouring demon, and that demon is the old one. And something that they did very well with this game is you expect it to be this, you know, nigh unstoppable, horrible, you know, huge, toothy monster that you have to fight, and it's the final boss, and it's going to be really, really fucking hard, or really, really simple, because last time you saw a giant, you know, huge, toothy boss, it was the dragon god, and all you had to do was punch him twice with a crossbow. But what you expect is this huge, epic confrontation, and from subvert this expectation, and they plonk you down on this beach right here that looks like the beginning of Inception, and you can see the maiden in black calling out to the old one, and the old one's not a monster at all. It's like this, well, it's a monster, but it's this giant, like, sentient, just conglomeration of trees and bark and all these weird, like, runey bits of metal work, and it just looks really mystical and sort of separated from reality. It's not a monster per se, it's a thing. It's like Shadow of the Colossus. You look at the colossi that you had to fight in that game, and they didn't look evil. They looked like they were part of the world, and this is exactly what the old one looks like. It's just this giant. There's no malevolence about it. It's just this gigantic thing that is hungry all the time, and what it happens to be hungry for is souls. You know, it feels no mercy, it feels no joy in what it's doing, it probably feels nothing at all. It just wants the power that souls can give it. And this is a part of the Demon Souls lore that I absolutely love, because a good deal of it is practically non-existent. you have to really dig deep for it, but this is something that they've handed to you without words, and you immediately kind of understand. They say that a picture tells 1,000 words, and this is just living evidence that what you thought you were going to have to fight at the very end of the game wasn't what you had to fight. This thing clearly doesn't want to fight you at all. It wants to know you, because you've basically sucked up all the souls of the demons that it had sent down into Boletaria. So this is what's going on. It's not what you expected. And the fact that From have made you feel, not feel anything for it, is that you feel like you should be fighting it, but then you don't want to fight it anymore. It doesn't even feel like something you can fight. Like, it has motivations. Its only motivation is that it wants to eat. And it just sounds like the Blob now. Speaking of the Blob, this is King Allant. This is Mr. Sludgy. He looks like he's just got a sewer system's contents put out all over him. But yeah, he's all wormy, and he's all muscly and sinew, and he's just not human anymore. And this is apparently what the soul power will do to a person if they don't if they're not prepared for it, if they're not ready for it. And that is, of course, my interpretation of it, because some people who are probably a great deal more experienced with the lore of demon souls would say that, oh, what the fuck are you talking about? That's not what's happening at all. But this is what I'm thinking has happened, and this is, you're putting down a king who's basically just not can't carry. Yeah, there's a real cinematic moment. Pick up the sword, immediately drop it again because you realise you can't carry it properly. Drop some sharp stone. Here, old one, has some sharp stone. But the fact that they've allowed you to just not feel anything for this thing is amazing, because the end of Dark Souls, as it was similarly subversive, because you walked through the fog gate and you expected to have this epic climactic battle with Gwyn, but he was like a burnt out, hollow version of himself. He's not even there anymore. He's just a body that can move and fight, and that's it. I don't know, this is me trying to say that I really like the end of Demon Souls, and I think I like it perhaps a little bit more than the end of Dark Souls, because it is so bleak and complete that it's just, there's no questions really about what happened next, because you'll see some of the, and even the dialogue from the Maiden in Black, her just saying, my duty is fulfilled, and you're walking out of this thing, you're walking out of the old one. This woman, if you've been leveling up, this is the thing that's been giving you the power to face all your troubles throughout the game. You feel at least some sort of attachment for her, and if you choose the good ending, you just leave her in there, and presumably you leave her in there to die. Conversely, if you choose the evil ending, you can attack her, and you kill her in one hit, because apparently she's very, very weak, and you can be swept off with the old one. No, I don't think you get swept off, actually. You just feed from its power, like Allent did. And there's this amazing... Look it up if you haven't seen it yet, but the bad ending to Demon Souls, once you kill the Maiden in Black and the cutscene starts, your character steps on her back and then on her head, and he doesn't just stop there, he sort of grinds her face into the dirt a little bit as he takes the last step towards getting all his power from the old one. And it's just that they nailed that really, really well. And yeah, at the moment, I've been wanting to talk about the end of Demon's Souls for a long time, and had no one to talk to, like had no forum to sort of express my feelings and my thoughts without, you know, being influenced by others for the moment. And yeah, so that was the end of Demon's Souls, and it was a very, very good ending. But this is the end. This is the end of the I think it's 55 something hours that I had spent with this character over the entire time that I played through the new game and New Game Plus. And it was a fantastic experience. It was a painful experience at times, and it was a bit of a disappointing experience in others when I realized, you know, how I had to take care of some of the areas. But it's also been a joy to record, edit, and also commentate, because I haven't commentated much before, and this has been my first experience with it, and I have to say I think I like it. After I stop talking, you know, thank fuck, I'm going to stop talking, everyone says, but after I stop talking, I'm going to crank up the audio on the song, the ending song for Demon's Souls, because it's a fantastic song. I'm talking over it a fair bit, but I need to get my little outro done. So this is the end. Say that for the 5th and final time. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for people who may have subscribed on the way, or people who have commented, especially the people who have commented. I do value getting all those comments. It is a very nice feeling to be recognized, even with, you know, like a 2 or 3 word comment. It is nice to realize that people are watching, and likes are fine and everything, but you know, not one of those people that begs for them. So thank you very much everyone for watching so far, and I will see you in the next series, which may be Dark Souls, maybe Demon's Souls, who knows. I'll catch you later.
Drawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended. So the world might be mended. It holds together the northern land of Boletaria. Thou canst not exit the Nexus, but each of the 5 archstones will connect